Oh yeah, check out this trick shot. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back, man. Back. Welcome. This is, I think it's might be my second video since I graduated from college. You know what I mean? College is done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We back. You know what I mean? We're gonna get right back into it. Now listen. I've been gone for a minute. I'm not even gonna lie. And as you can see, there's been some drama going on. I'm not even gonna fake. I'm not even that drama-oriented type of guy. But growing up, used to watch FaZe. I'm talking about prime BO2, BO3 FaZe, right? Like they was running your lobbies. They was running comments, that type of FaZe. So to see that it might just be the end of an era, tough, man. It's tough. But to be honest with you, I kind of saw it coming with the new group. I didn't think they was gonna last long, but we're gonna see why. I don't really know all the specs and details of what happened, but from my personal guess, they didn't vibe. To be honest with you, I think they was always segregated. I don't know if you ever peeked, but it was always kind of like, you know, black people with black people, the white people was the white people, and you had like the white people or like one black dude that would dabble in between the two of them, but they was never truly like a whole fulfilled group. Well, they was, but it didn't last long, if that makes sense. But we're gonna check out this video from it's Janky. I think he made a really good video about it. I saw like I want to say the first 30 seconds of it, but it seemed like he's very oriented with what he's going to talk about and very organized. So hopefully it'll just put more light on
Over the past few days, FaZe Clan has completely fallen apart. Not only has the reputation been completely destroyed by people like FaZe Banks, but all the most popular and oldest members have officially left the team, leaving the group with literally nobody. It's hard to believe that the 2-year streaming org of the year would fall apart as quickly as it did, with even Adapt, a 14-year member, officially leaving the team, which was surprising for not only new fans but also old ones. And this proves that there had to have been something seriously wrong with how FaZe was being ran to lead to the entire roster leaving. And it all stems back to Plaqueboy Max, the person who initially left New FaZe a few months ago. In this situation, most people thought that it was just an ego thing, as right as he left, he would move into his own house and begin creating content with the new group he formed. However, that assumption couldn't have been more wrong. Max would go live to explain his side of the story, and to expose the many reasons why he left the team.
Where I'm not even going to specifically name names, because if you was there, you was there. It's not the most big deal. But we had a sponsor for that day, and niggas didn't end up doing the sponsor. Game night. Yes, if you was there, you was there. Niggas didn't end up doing the sponsor. There was difficulties with the sponsor. Yeah. After that happened, according to the assistants and staff of the creators, they said that FaZe has pulled everybody for the rest of the month and sent niggas home early. Right? This is the first time where in my head I went, how much control do we have here? And how much control do niggas have over us?
Okay, so just to clarify, just to make sure I'm not tripping, basically what happened was they had the FaZe group, and I'm guessing Max was the first one to leave because he felt like they didn't have control over what they do and like what they say, anything like that. He didn't have no hearsay, and then he made his own group. That's what I'm getting from this so far.
There had been rumors spreading around that FaZe was trying to sign these creators to an 80-20 deal, which you'd think is something that they should have signed when they initially joined the team, not after a year and a half of being in it, and especially after many of these creators have literally reached the highest point of their entire careers. And yes, they do get to live in luxury houses practically rent-free, get more brand deals and sponsorships, their collab streams paid for, and much more. However, they're making so much money, it's not even worth them staying on the team if now they're gonna have to give up a large percentage of their revenue. And they're at the point where 20% of their revenue isn't just like $10,000 anymore, which is still a lot of money, but it's like $100,000 to $200,000 for most of them. All assuming that this rumor of them taking money from the members is actually true. Max would even state that they all signed documents whenever they joined FaZe, saying that there are certain things that they can't talk about. And I wouldn't be surprised if this entire theory is in the realm of possibilities.
No, that's 100% true. That's 100% true. Let me tell you something, okay? I just got out of goddamn college, and did you know I had to sign a damn NDA for one of my classes to participate in a project? Yeah, that's what they got you doing in college. So you already know what the fuck they got going on in the industry. That's all I'm gonna say. It's true. They probably signed an NDA while really truly understanding it because they was young at the point when they first, was doing it. They was just up and coming. They just wanted to get put on. And now they looking back and they're like, damn, I'm really the merchandise. I'm the one that's making the money. Why is that the money not coming to me?
You right.
That's just what it is. They probably looking at it like, dang, I'm the one making all the money. I'm the one I'm the reason the sponsors are even like interested in us. But yeah, I'm only getting 20%. Hypothetically, I'm just going off the 20-80, 80-20 he said. Like, but it's understandable. Damn, this is not a good start.
Hey, you see that little townhouse? They trying to make that nigga pay 20 bands a month. What the fuck? Or give a percentage of myself. What the fuck? But Max is such a good nigga. He just, yo, bro, I just want to. And now niggas like Max look crazy, look like egoed out niggas. No, that shit not cool though. Like niggas taking shit on the chin, making him look like this nigga the ego monster. Niggas don't know the truth, bro. Niggas don't know the truth.
Free man. He's allowed to say whatever he wants as he feels. But as y'all know, I signed the FaZe in 2024, so at the end of the day, I signed papers. There's certain things I can and can't say.
Now, this is one of the only things in this situation that I don't understand. Max is living in a giant mansion in LA, likely worth over $100,000 per month after things like utilities, water, electricity, Wi-Fi, all that. We have to keep in mind they're living in a content house as well, so shit's getting damaged all the fucking time. But going back to the main point, he has an entire guest house basically to himself. And also, with FaZe helping fund so much of his other content, mainly last content like...
He said that shit was... He said, this is tiny? 20 bands? I don't know, Max. I don't know the environment, like the economy over there. Where they in? LA, I think. I don't know what houses are going for, but 20 bands with a pool by yourself. How many rooms that drink at? 4 or 5? How many bathrooms? A kitchen? Utilities? 20 bands not that bad. Well, a month? 20 bands a month? I don't know. I'm not paying 20 bands a month, you know what I mean? But like I said, I ain't trying to pocket watch, but it sounded like they want the nigga to pay rent. And I don't know. They can maybe discuss that more. But if he's saying he just didn't want to pay rent, then I can see both sides. Like, then that's why he would be the reason he like get his own crib. He don't want to pay rent. He would try to just maybe own it and have it in his name. Because then even then he probably don't like the idea of paying rent. But like I said, they do wild and dumb shit. So let's say Banks get mad at one point. He's like, you gotta go, and he kicks him out. That's wild. Which I'm not gonna say he done it before, but I can see Banks doing some shit like that. And them being a buck, like I can see that. Like I can see him being the type of guy to be like, all right, get the fuck out. You doing too much. He probably has though. I'm being a buck with you, but yeah.
And also, with FaZe helping fund so much of his other content, mainly last content like the first FaZe subathon, I really don't think that it's that big of a deal for him to pay at least a little portion of the rent. And also, we all know he's definitely making enough to afford it. However, he ultimately decided to leave FaZe and go on his own solo journey, as we all know.
Is what made me realize it's time for me to man up. If I want to be what I one day want to be or plan on being, I gotta bet on myself, no matter what happens to me or what niggas might try to do. So out of these moments, I really
you heard what he said. And I paying attention. You heard? No matter what niggas might try to do, that boy Banks was holding that shit over them. He used that shit like, oh, I'm doing X, Y, and Z for you, so straighten up or do this, do this. He ain't want someone to feel like they have power or entitlement over him. So let's say he get in an argument with them and they're like, oh, well, get the fuck out then. Like, I own this shit. Get the fuck out. It's under my name. You only rent. I'm only leasing it to you. You're renting. Get the fuck out. Like, I can see that then. Okay.
I think I made a decision, especially after this, where I'm like, bro, what am I gonna do here? I can't be here no more. And I honestly didn't think I was gonna leave as soon as I did, but it was on some shit like, bro, I gotta make this decision sooner or later, gang.
After Max left FaZe,
at least
everyone
sooner
was
or later.
saying how he was going to fall off. And I'm gonna admit, even I would make some predictions on my videos related to that.
Yeah, Max
However, the
could fall off
transition
crazy.
seemed to work better than anyone thought it would. Sure, right as he left FaZe, his viewers would dip significantly. However, they would jump right back up as time went on. And people's opinions on Max
always
falling
said that,
off completely switched up.
it's
Well,
unproven.
except for
Because, matter of fact, people said the same thing about Bruce when what was that drink he had going on? It was him, Rage, and Kai. DYK. When they had the whole little DYK marathon going off, and that shit fell out. They was like, oh yeah, Bruce gonna drop off, and he was doing fine by himself. Then he had his own little shit that went on. I digress, but he was doing fine for the most part. Matter of fact, he's probably doing fine now. But nah, Max is gonna be fine.
FaZe
with or without
Banks.
niggas.
After everyone left the team,
They all
Banks
got
would be
their own-
quick to throw himself
their
in the
own shit.
conversation, making a tweet stating, "I have nothing to do with what's going on in FaZe Clan right now. I left 4 months ago and have moved on with my life. Unfortunate to see. Wishing everyone involved the best. If there's anything I can do to help, I'm
he
here.
like
No
August
one loves FaZe more than me." And then he would make a video regarding the situation, talking about Max
August.
leaving and saying some pretty disgusting things about him.
I just watched some clips from this Black Boy Max stream where he's playing a laugh track over my tweet, and it's like, Max, I know we've had like our individual differences, and I know I haven't really seen eye to eye with a lot of the talent because truthfully and honestly, I find you guys all to be incredibly ungrateful. I find you guys all to have insane egos, and I think it's disgusting and makes me sick to my stomach that your guys' relationships with each other and with every other streamer, and your community included, is so incredibly fake. You guys are the best actors on planet Earth, and you've made a complete career out of all of it. Max,
can
these
see
are your
that.
boys, but these are the same guys that said they fucking hated your guts after you left. And you know, you're the program and you have an ego the size, you think you're
I can see what he's saying, cause like I'm gonna cut him off real quick, cause like I'm hearing both sides. Like he's trying to say like Max and all of them have egos and shit. They let shit get to their head and they be talking shit about each other, which I can probably see being true. Like I said, to me, I feel like the group was already segregated anyway. You had the in between, black, white, and then except people who deal with that, and they argue like competitors, not brothers anyway. So when they get into competitive, like when they start arguing and shit, it's not like it's not like AMP when they argue. Like they had fallouts. I guess you could say fallouts with Davis and all the other shit. I think even Fano had one point he took a break and Duke did, but they argue like brothers if anything. These niggas argue like competitors. It's like, oh nigga, I'm only working with you because I have to. Like, I don't really like you. Like they didn't say some wild shit or like damn near like they done did so much stupid shit from what I saw from like clips and shit. I can see that for sure. But in the same aspect, it's kind of the pot calling the kettle black because he's saying they have egos and shit, but you can't say that, but then also be like, oh, they're super ungrateful for everything I did for them. Because now it's like it almost comes off as if you're holding a note, like a list of what you did over them, which you probably done in the past. If he might admit it or not, right? He probably did that shit in the past, and no one likes having shit being held over them. But in the same aspect, nobody likes feeling like they're investing into somebody and getting nothing in return. That's just investment. Like if you think he genuinely did it out of the goodness of his heart just because he wanted to see y'all prosper and he didn't want nothing in return, you're foolish. That's just a fact. Like that's not
Travis Scott and this and that, and also like Max, multiple conversations about how Ron's content's cringe and you guys didn't fuck with the dap. None of you guys fucked with Lacey or Jason in the beginning. You guys didn't want these guys to live anywhere near you. You barely wanted to share a brand with them. But FaZe was gonna find.
Because, bro, I'm telling you, bro, it's because they are niggas, bro. And what I mean by that, let me tell you, chat. Let me break it down a little bit more because I feel like some of y'all hearing me, but you're not understanding me. Got niggas, the in between, white boys. What niggas find funny and what white people find funny are two separate things. So what white people do to niggas, it seems as cringe and weird. Like you're like a weirdo. Like why are you doing that? You're doing too much. What we find funny, we like Jonah and each other, for example, right? We like getting each other's faces. We like sitting there. I think y'all call it phrase baiting now, but we like fucking with each other, right? But we do it to a higher extent than them, for sure. Any day of the week. Matter of fact, you can probably see in their content. What we do, for example, for prime example, let's say me and Rage was in a group and we just started arguing about fucking Pokemon or some shit. He might come at me and be like, are you fucking dumb? Are you da 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 da? Start talking crazy and shit. And then I might come back and say, listen here, bitch ass nigga, da 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 da. Get your bitch ass out my face because so and so is a better Pokemon than so and so. But we getting heated, but it's all in the aspect of we just talking shit. But to them, they might be like, oh, we gotta separate them. They're getting like aggressive, like this shit might turn to something else. So what I'm saying is the comedy levels and just the comedic aspects for each party is completely different. So when you throw them in together and you just think, oh, make friends and then like just work together, their jokes are gonna be different from them. Like for example, like one of the white boys might find something funny by like rubbing the other one's nipples and shit, like some weird crazy shit. And you're raging them or Silky gonna look at him like, the fuck are you doing? Like that's weird. Just hypothetical. I don't know what the fuck they be going. I didn't watch them for real, but I'm just saying from what I understand from just looking at the group, the vibes are completely different from each side. I'm pretty sure maybe Kason and Max was like the two people that would double dabble between groups. Silky might have entertained it here and there, maybe a rage, but it was probably Playboy Max and Kason that would jump in between groups. But the black people stay with the black people, white people stay with white people, and I'm guarantee you sooner or later they're gonna bring up how they separate, and then the white people's with the white people, and the niggas stay with the niggas. I'm telling
the
you.
Miami house for you, Rage, Silky, and Kason. So fuck it, we'll take what we can get. And then it all worked, and we forced this relationship. And I was called a fucking retard then, and I was told then I was ruining FaZe, and now 2 years later it wound up being the best thing that ever happened. So you understand why I'm sitting here and I'm frustrated.
Initially, he was the person basically glazing all the new members of FaZe whenever they first joined, all the way up until he ultimately left the team. Also stating that he himself went into debt after buying back FaZe and helping get it back on its feet.
I have never made not one singular dollar outside of my salary via FaZe. Not selling it, not buying it, raising money. I've just put myself further and further in debt. Yeah, I think FaZe to acquire and all the costs for these guys' careers over the last 2 years, I think ballpark 40 million bucks. And I think probably collectively these guys have had to have probably made like 20 million in the last 2 years collectively, I would guess. And not $1 of that 20 million has ever gone back to FaZe, never mind me. I would hope anyone watching could sit here and understand why I would be frustrated while a fucking entire hate mob is coming after me on fucking Christmas, my first Christmas without my mom, when all I've ever fucking wanted to do is help FaZe be successful. That's all I've ever wanted to do. That's the only intent. Where's the money? I'm this fucking guy who's trying to take everything from everybody. Where is it? Then why the fuck am I millions of dollars in debt? Where is it? It's in Blackboy Max's bank account. It's in fucking Silky's bank account. It's in Jason, Ronaldo, Lacey's bank account. I wish this never happened. I wish that I never did any of this.
It's really sad to think, but at this point, it seemed like there was really no right or wrong side of the situation. The FaZe management were wrong, the owners were wrong, and the ex-members were also wrong. But it seemed like with these members leaving, the most probable reason was to protect their money, their careers, their brands, everything like that. Even though they obviously can't talk much about it, that was the most probable reason. But in any situation, whenever there's money involved, it's extremely hard to get out of it, especially when you've been a part of this group for over a year, building your career with all of these people around you to a degree which you never even thought was possible. FaZe Rain would even make a story about the situation, taking Bank's side and hinting at the fact that even he knew the stuff that was going on with FaZe. One day you will realize everything on the internet is fake. The people fake, friendships fake, intentions fake, the stories fake, loyalty non-existent. I had a silver hope that there were some good ones out there when I realized that even the good ones were only good when they benefit. I knew I didn't belong in this industry and environment. On top of this, one of the stock owners of FaZe Clan and the co-founder of DraftKings, Matt Kalish, would state that the current structure of FaZe is unsustainable. He gave influencers who operated from a multi-million-dollar mansion the option to go independent or sign deals to Hardscope, which, if you guys don't know, is a massive content agency that will likely also take a large percentage of their revenue. And that was likely the deal that they were trying to get the FaZe members to sign under. Kalish would also state that
they just went through the whole feeling like they wasn't making money because they was under someone else. Why would they sign that? That doesn't even make sense though. Like I hear what Bank's talking about, but if you give them the same deal that they didn't want originally, why would they want? Like why would they? You can't say you had their best intentions at that point. You was looking out for the company. Which at the end of the day, I guess that's what he's supposed to do because he's the businessman decide. But yeah, you can't act like you 100% had like their
Best guess is that they're all good kids and have a lot of people under their ear and are confused. He has put $10 million into the group over the past 18 months. And if we're being honest, if they aren't taking any percentage of the revenue these creators signed under them are making, there's no way they're making any sort of profit whatsoever. So with FaZe essentially vanishing into thin air after they lost every creator they had, this would make many people wonder if the FaZe streaming group was planning on creating a new group under a different name. No contracts or anything, just a group of friends making a fuck ton of money and great content.
Obviously, I'm not in the loop, but if they're all saying they're leaving FaZe Clan, it gotta be creating a new org. Right? That's my brain is going immediately to that. Cause why else would you use leaving FaZe Clan for it gotta be a new org.
Something obviously happened, obviously. Their thought was we're gonna continue to be a group, but we're just gonna start our own thing together. Without FaZe.
Even though it seemed like everything was over after this point, that couldn't be farther from the truth. Banks would post another video the very next day regarding the situation, exposing text messages that Max sent him over the past year, and showing how Max wasn't only looking up to Banks as a mentor, but also constantly telling him the regret he had for leaving FaZe, which is extremely sad to hear considering what Max said about him in this video. And Banks would make it clear in his own video that this was taking a major toll on his mental health.
So I don't know if I'm down for the whole exposing messages thing. I feel like that could be used to misdirect or interpret something that wasn't the case. I don't know.
Max would once again go on social media to make a post regarding the situation. I respected Banks, and after I left FaZe, Banks would call me and tell me I needed him and my career was falling off. He took advantage of the fact that I was depressed and in the hospital. At one point, I let all the calls get to me and I asked to rejoin FaZe. But I kept going, and in November, I was introduced to a manager who helped me realize that a lot of the things he told me were lies. And since leaving, I've worked on bigger guests and brands, and have a 2026 plan that is bigger than anything I've ever accomplished so far. However,
so what I'm getting from that is that was probably around the time when he left and they said his viewership went down. So he's probably depressed dealing with whatever he fuck you dealing with, right? And then that's when Banks and you like, oh, your shit about to flop. You ain't about to be able to come back from this. Like, you might as well go ahead and like pack it up. And this thing's like, damn, he is right. Like my shit's not going. So then he probably started doing like, damn, maybe I was better off with FaZe. So then he tried to get back to FaZe, but then he met the manager. The manager was like, no, nigga. You don't know what Young Thug said. Chin up. You straight, nigga? Chin up. And then he balling. But yeah, that's why I was like, I don't really like when they do the whole, oh, let me just release messages and then just be like, oh, this is what's going on. But like, it's two sides of every story. So
it wouldn't only be Max trying to speak out against what Banks was saying about them. A few hours after this, all the ex-FaZe members would go live to talk about the situation, to express that what Banks was saying about them, FaZe members would speak out against what Banks was saying about them. A few hours after this, all the ex-FaZe members would go live to talk about the situation, to express that what Banks was saying about them were complete lies, and that they were also planning on continuing to be a content group as predicted, just not under the FaZe name.
A week ago, we all stopped streaming during the last day of our marathon that we were doing. We didn't really, I know a lot of people thought, oh, we're trying to make this a joke or whatever. That's never been the thing. There's a lot of stuff that's happening. Obviously, it was in our best intention to leave FaZe Clan. So all the speculations that oh, this is like an announcement, or this is something that we've planned, this was not planned, and this was just some things that we came to terms. And
I mean, everything that Ron said is true. The main thing I wanted to let y'all know is, cause seeing everyone leave online, one by one, obviously it looks crazy, and you guys don't know a lot of what is happening behind the scenes. But what I can say, what I will add to that is that nothing is going to change from the viewer's perspective, from the chat's perspective, with our dynamic. We are all still rocking with each other. We're all staying together. Me, Ron, Lacey, Jason, Silky, Kason, Rage. We're all still doing our thing collectively and working on our own thing moving forward, and still going to be a part of each other's content. It's not like everyone's going in over here and doing their solo thing, over here and doing their solo thing. We're all still doing what exactly we were doing before, not underneath those 4 letters anymore.
I hear what he's saying, but I kind of feel like it's gonna separate, and not be like, oh, they're not talking to each other no more. But it's gonna turn to two factions. Like I said, it's gonna be the niggas gonna do their own thing. Like you're gonna see more of when you see your race. You'll probably see Silky, Kason, Playboy Max doing more like things together, and then their little group, the four of them, is gonna be doing more. They might come all together here and there, but I think majority of the time it's gonna be like those two groups doing their own things. But I don't think this group was never gonna last. They wasn't friends. Like they was just people who wanted to make money, and then they all just came together like, oh, we were all blowing up and shit, and then they found this big name which was FaZe. So they all came together under that big name and thought, yeah, we could do. We being honest, they thought they could do the same shit AMP was doing. AMP was been on a crazy run recently, and they said, oh, we can do the same shit too. That's just what it was, but it didn't work out like that. They wasn't friends originally. They was like acquaintance. So they had a bunch of acquaintances that tried to make like this. I don't want to say fake, but this pseudo friend group, almost pseudo like friend group that's supposed to be like super close, and they just all randomly just started living with each other. It wasn't gonna work, bro. Like they wasn't friends before then. Like the only two groups I can see personally, me, that would last is gonna be RDC World One and AMP. And the one that's probably gonna last the longest is RDC, honestly. AMP might last too, but they be fighting. I've never seen RDC fight. But I say that to say this group was never gonna work. You look at the two most successful groups, it's because they was friends prior. Like Mark and Leland are cousins, I think. And then AMP, they just hang out just to hang out. I'm sure they like. I'm not saying they don't, but just looking at how they interact with each other, like each person has a friend. Like each person can talk to one another one on one. I don't think everyone talks to each other one on one in this group, unless there's some drama or some shit going on. They're just like, okay, now everyone want to meet up and talk to the person to help them. But that's just my speculation. I mean, I don't know these people.
It hurts. It hurts me. I think a little bit more than everyone else, but I feel like it had to be done. It was too much of back and forth and too much stress over the months. A lot of things you guys don't know about, and I do think that this will be for the better. And that's really what it is. Yeah.
One of the biggest things that we wanted to make sure, adding on to adapt, it's kind of the same thing, but it's like nothing's changing. Like I know a lot of people made a lot of speculations. Okay, are they going to split? They all going to go on our solo, whatever it might be. Are they going to make another group? We don't have any plans on anything right now besides just staying together and just making content.
Overall, let me know what you guys think about this situation.
Did y'all peep? They put slides under him or some shit at like. It's like he's supposed to have his feet right here, whole time he's sit right here. He's not here.
Just making content.
Overall, let me know what you guys think about this situation. It really is sticky, and truly, there's no right or wrong side to it. If anything, they're both wrong for certain reasons, and they're both right for certain reasons. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like I said, I'm taking the FaZe boys side, also because Banks blocked my bitch ass on Twitter. Anyways though, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos just like this.
Man, listen, shout out to it's Janky, bro. Like he did a good video. Like I can't even fake. He kept it very organized. I just kept pausing and wanted to say some shit. But just to summarize what my opinion is, yeah, like he said, it's right and wrong to each side. I just never thought that they was gonna last though. I've never so this doesn't really surprise me. I never thought they was gonna last. It never felt like a genuine friendship to me. Like I said, that's not to attack the creators, like all the people that was in the group or whatever. Shit, if y'all see this drink, y'all probably like, who the fuck is this little nigga, right? Hey, I'm Zay Animated, DMV native. Just giving my personal opinion from the outsider's perspective, right? And from the outside, this is from what I saw, it didn't seem like they was the closest of friends originally. Like I said, it seemed like a bunch of kids. I don't want to say kids, because they probably older than me. I'm like 23. So a bunch of young men coming together, trying to make a group. Like I said, it seemed like it was kind of like around the time when AMP was like at a precipice and all that shit. They still doing their own thing, right? But they probably saw what they was doing and was like, damn, we could do that too. But they just was missing that key factor of y'all trying to mix two different cultures and communities, or a bunch of cultures and communities, and it just didn't work. It's kind of like y'all saw they add that little nigga, what's his name? They added like Ray to AMP. I was like, oh well, they could add him, and it works out fine. Everyone loved him. We could just combine these two drinks and like see how it plays out. But it just management wasn't there. I don't think the communities really collide all that well. It wasn't too much. You got people, no offense, like I said, you have people like, for example, like the niggas. You got niggas like Silky Max might be arguing, and you have a nigga like Rage like hyping it up, like, you know, being a nigga, like he's gonna sit there and slice it. And then you have the other people like, oh shit, this shit's getting serious. Like now they're freaking out. Or vice versa. Like they do some shit and then y'all looking at them like, oh, these niggas tripping. I don't think they was never on the same page though. But that's just my perspective, you know? Shit. That's it for the end for this video though. Like, I don't know what else. Like, it's just, damn, a lot happened. And it was only in a year, maybe 2. I want to say this says from 2024 to 2025. It's 2026 now, obviously. So maybe I'll give them the 2. Maybe these are really everyone else left around recently, I want to say. So probably 2026. So maybe 2 years. As fast as it came together, it's as fast as it crumbled. It's kind of like when everyone moved to Kick, and that didn't last long because it sounded good on paper, but when it was put into like action, it didn't work. But damn, man, let me know. Name a group y'all think's gonna last long. You know what I mean? Like, y'all know any groups? Let me know. Maybe I'm not put me on. But for me, top 2 groups is AMP, RDC. RDC's number 1, AMP's number 2. Because they've been around the longest for me. But yeah, man. Damn. That's gonna be the end of this video, man. From Zay Animated. I want y'all to go ahead, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like I said, go ahead, put in the comments who you think is gonna be last the longest. Let me know what things gonna happen with FaZe, like with the rest of the group members. You think they're gonna make a new group? You think they're gonna go individual? Let me know. Just talk. Let's just chat it out, man. That's gonna be all for this in this video, man. Peace. Lock down.